few minutes, we will continue with the first game of today's program. We will ask the teams to line up for national anthem.
Day 2 at the EBLC, baby. Nowhere we'd rather be. And we're kicking it off with a big one between the Italians and the Germans in the men's division. Welcome into the broadcast booth at LCC Radotín. My name's Tino Farah, joined by Luke Lee to my right. Luke, man, we got a big one on tap here. What should we expect from this matchup between the Germans and the Italians?
No doubt about it. I mean, you have two high-level programs here. You got a Germany team back in 2022 that made it all the way to the finals. You got an Italian team that has a lot of pride. You have multiple players who play high-level lacrosse here. So you're going to have to expect a lot of scoring, expect a lot of high-level lacrosse, and high-tested game between two teams that are definitely going to be favorites in this tournament. No doubt about it. It's going to be very interesting to see how they stack up against one another.
It's a very good point. The emphasis on pride, as you just all heard the national anthems go down between the two respective nations. The Italians, man, it gives me chills hearing them scream out the lyrics to their national anthem. Want to get this in right off the bat as well. Officials for this game will be Trent Bay, Thomas Rod, Vashik Frank, and on standby is Michael Stash Leahy? Might have butchered the last name, but the nickname is the important part. Apparently they call him the Stash. So I might have to get a look at the caterpillar on his upper lip. We'll take a look a little bit later on. Starting goaltenders in this game on Team Italy's side will be Samuel Crispo. Put up a .790 save percentage in 2024 in the Utica World Championships. It was outstanding for them, playing the bulk of their minutes. At the other end for Germany, it'll be Julian Lau in that same tournament. Put up a .730 save percentage. And Luke, you were talking to me pregame. The face-off dot is going to be something that you're going to be keeping your eye on all game long in terms of the battle.
No doubt about it. I mean, absolutely, it's going to come down to what you can do. How can you maximize your offensive possessions in this game? Lacrosse is one of those games where if you can stack your offensive possessions, it's going to be able to go out there and allow you to make less mistakes, have a better peace of mind, and run your offense the way you want to instead of having to force things in.
And Mauricio Tchaikovsky wins the opening draw for Germany, and they'll kick off this game. On for his first shift is Chris Bushi, fresh off of an NLL championship with the Toronto Rock. He might have his chin strap undone, actually, if I'm seeing that correctly. We'll see if that winds up playing a factor, as an early bounce shot from the far wing winds up out of play a little early on. Possession now back to the Italians.
Ultimately, good way to get the shot going, get the offensive going. Hey, get the juices flowing. It doesn't really matter if you don't put it in the back of the net first shot. Keep them going.
Test the goalie early on has got to be the message. See what you can build off of from there. A nice pick and roll. Doesn't work out, though. Loose ball to the corner. His bodies will crash and bang. Expect more of that in the early mornings here in Prague. A good loose ball picked up by Italy. Not sure there should have been a reset, but they scored. No, the far side official waves it off. And that is the right call. Italy had possession that entire time, and the shot clock winds down, so the referee's counting manually.
That's what's really important in box lacrosse. You only get about 30 seconds to get your offensive going, so you want to make sure you have the right thing set up.
Bushi with a shot that goes off the right pad of Crispo. Rebound trickles towards the middle, and it'll be picked up in stride by David Pellezioni. Now Borgatti stops up at the restraining line. He'll let the offense make their way back onto the floor. This is Gabriel Sorochetti. Trying to find low side. He'll get it over now to the righties to do a bit of work. It's a righty strong set for the Italians. Back underneath with an underhand shot. Sorochetti couldn't dial that in. Did get it just wide, however, and now the loose ball battle will go. That's a couple of good defensive stands for the Germans, eating up these shot clocks and not allowing Italy to get anything going.
And the Italians just trying to find their spot, trying to see where they can fit their shots in and where the goal is most comfortable.
Again, the Germans are going to start from the near side. Lassie Vold-Kwardzin, the former Poco Saint at the BC Junior A Lacrosse League level, for another stint with Team Germany. He's waiting in the corner from the feed while the lefties will do a bit of work. Shot on the run. Crispo handled that nicely. And if Germany can collect this loose ball, they've got some tired Italian defenders on. Crashing and banging, it'll drop down, and that's a good stand now for the Italians. Oh, what a move, but the turf monster took down Danny Davide. He'll hopefully brush that off and make his way back towards the bench.
For Italy, you want to kind of slow things down here a little bit. Get your tempo going. Don't try to force things in just because Germany's moving a little bit fast for you.
Remember, just because it's early in the morning here, just after 10:30 a.m. local time, the heat is already on display as Lucas Dudemain puts that right into the Team Germany logo. It's funny, Luke, I went down to the turf before the game to go talk with the Italian coaches and everything, and just feeling the temperature rise as soon as you get onto the turf. It's got to be an increase of about 10 degrees or something. It's outrageous.
No doubt about it. I wouldn't want to be playing down there.
No. Shot on the run. They score. Fooled Samuel Crispo for the 1-0 lead, and the Germans strike early.
Taking a look at the replay right here, you can see the shot is set up off of the pick, and a great shot on the run, a little sidearm motion. It's a really tight angle, and that's what's really important when you're playing in a confined space like that, is to find those right angles and where you can beat the guy in net.
And using the defenders as a screen as well. The low forward for Team Germany taking out 2 defenders, and I don't think Crispo would have seen that whatsoever by the time it left from his stick. But we're back to the face-off dot where Germany has the early advantage, one off of the win on the first one, and now a violation against the Italians gives it back to Germany.
Good start for Germany at the face-off line. Going to be able to maximize their possessions and not have to force things on offense.
And a chance to take a 2-goal lead here. Bohm will dish off ball and now drive towards the middle. Nice swing back over to the lefties to do a bit of work, but can't quite get through. Looking for a shooting angle. Defended well with one hand on the stick. Good screen is set. Cutting through, and a hard collision right in the middle. Shot goes wide. They'll dunk, and it'll be a crease violation, negating that opportunity for Germany.
Getting up and close and personal inside of the crease early on, really putting that pressure.
Now Italy back into the offensive zone. This is Gabriele Sorichetti. Drives to the corner. Looks up top. There's Lucas Dudemain, formerly of the Ontario Junior A Lacrosse League, and a loose ball push will give possession back to the Germans before Italy can get a shot on goal.
Just good way to be in your spot for Germany defensively. You can see Italy on the previous possession, the way they're shifting and being able to cut off these cutters for Germany.
Back now to the righties. Volkwartsen. Nice east to west movement, and Chris Bouchy would be denied by Crispo. Shot might have actually gone wide, actually. Here's Bouchy once again. He'll drive underneath. Nice flip to the middle, and it's knocked down by a defensive stick. Germany still with 8 seconds remaining on this shot clock. Hard feed across, and a bouncer that's handled easily by Crispo.
And Italy's done a really good job of keeping the offensive players for Germany in front of them, not allowing the cutters to get behind them, and making sure they have the eye on the ball.
As this game gets down to the late stretches, that's going to be the deciding factor, I think, especially when you consider that Germany has an NLL professional on their forward group in Chris Bouchy. And, you know, he has the experience, he has the knowledge, and knows how to get things done in the late stages of a game. And how will Italy be able to respond to that? Here's another shot through, a sidearm release from Dudemain, and that's handled well by Julian Lau.
And the question for Germany, I think, outside of Chris Bouchy is, you have an NL guy, obviously, right? But how does the rest of the offense step up around him? Because if you're Italy, all you're going to be focusing on is Chris Bouchy. This is the NL guy. This is a guy who's professional. He's got a lot of experience. So you're going to want to try to cut him out and try to force the rest of the offense to pick the rest of the slack up. And that's really, I think, where the question's going to lie here.
Yeah, it's a good point. Both teams are going to need to lean on their depth at a certain point, and that's going to be the big question for Germany. What are they without Chris Bouchy? And they're going to lean on guys like Benno Wendt and like Lassie Volkwartsen and so on to try to get that job done. As we get into our first hydration break, and man, oh man, even from the booth, those hydration breaks are crucial. It's hot up here. It's hotter down there on the floor. We were talking off air before this game about the women's game yesterday between Finland and Czechia. And I mean, if anybody didn't watch that game, Finland's goaltender wound up only playing the first half, and they didn't have another goaltender on their roster. So the heat was getting to everybody, and they wound up having to put a player in goal for the second half of the game. And Czechia, of course, went on to get the win in that one. 25-2 was the final score, if I remember correctly. So the heat is most definitely affecting everybody here, and we'll get back underway after everyone got a nice drink of high-quality H2O. Now Volkwartsen starts off the offense. Bouchy back on, open in the middle, and tries to beat Crispo with the 5-hole. Kept his stick down and goes to the butterfly. A nice save for the Italian netminder. That
was a beautiful play designed by Germany right there. Either way, it doesn't even matter that he didn't end up putting the ball in the back of the net. Either way there, the cutter was wide open. A great play by the man inside of the net, but either way, great play design.
Bobbled pass. Italians trying to make something out of nothing here. Soroketti, he'll drag, he'll shoot over the goal. Big rebound, falls towards the center line, and maybe a chance for Benno Wendt in transition, but the ball was a little bit too fast ahead of him. He's got two guys open in the middle. Italy with some good reverse transition to get defenders on in time. And they're going to give possession. That might have been an illegal substitution for Germany, now giving it back to the Italians. So a one-and-done set for the Germans.
Putting some pressure on this Germany defense out there, holding them a little bit longer than they might want to. So it'll be interesting to see how they hold up.
A rare righty strong set now for Italy. Once again, working it low to the corner. Amati gets it back across the floor on a good swing. Massimiliano Bonazioni. Feed up top, shot through a screen. That didn't miss by too much. Del Zotto rips one from his wrong side of the floor, and that's a tough rebound for the Italians. It goes off the corner boards and all the way down, so Germany gets a free clear now.
Still getting the shots off either way. You got to love what you have to see out of Germany so far early on. They've had a number of long defensive possessions, and they've still been able to go out there, play hustle, play hard defense, and so far keep Italy off the scoreboard.
Now the righties will go to work. Volkwartsen shoots through, and another right pad stop. That'll go out of play off of the Italian netminder, so another reset will go to Team Germany. This is what you were just talking about, Luke. Another reset. They're going to keep these tired defenders on. As Bushi will swim, take his space behind the goal. Don't be surprised if you see him try a dunk from behind at some point in this game, and Germany doubles up on the lead. Shot underneath the defender will go, and Leon Bohm makes this a 2-0 game.
Again, the rotation for Germany coming up big. As you can see outside, that was Baum. He was pretty much wide open on the step-down righty, or I don't even know if that was a righty or lefty. Either way, it was a step-down shot. He was pretty wide open. There was no one within 3 or 4 yards of him. And that all comes from all the cutters throughout the middle and creating all sorts of chaos in the middle. No one leaving Baum wide open towards the top right side.
Remember as well, with the sun shining brightly here in Radotín, there is one bit of shade on the turf, and it's right now covering the crease. Oh, a chance here for Italy, and a great stop in tight. Biggest of the game so far for Julian Lau, but it's interesting to see how things alter when the sun moves around here. Right now, it's just in the Italian crease, and just to see how that affects the sightlines of a netminder trying to get a good eye on possessions for the Germans as they'll work in the far corner, swing across, Volkwartsen, nice one-touch through the middle, and that missed the goal.
Slides have been a little bit late here for Italy. They definitely want to get those more so in check.
Everybody trying to feel each other out in the early goings. This is the first game of the tournament for each of these two nations, but it is both a long and also a short tournament, depending on how you look at things. So you don't want to wait too long. There's another one-timer and an underhand release. Missed the goal again. Behind the net, they'll try. Back to Dudemain. He'll step into one, and that caught a piece of the netminder, so this will be a reset now for Italy.
Either way, I like how Italy's using and manipulating different sides of the field. They went behind the net and go back up top, and just being able to change the goalie's eye level from where those shots are coming from, it's going to be absolutely crucial.
Always keep them guessing. Flip to the middle for Lucas Dudemain. Didn't quite work out. He's going to try to fish this loose ball free. Loses that loose ball battle as Jan Frieder Stur, and now it'll go back to Italy. However, Germany is going to be able to get a wholesale change underway, so they got some fresh legs out the defensive gate.
Going to be absolutely crucial. It's really, really hot here in Prague. And like you said, there's not a lot of shade on the German side of the field right now.
Amati bobbled it, but he got it back. There's Soroketti. Good swing over to the righty. Shot took a deflection. Now Del Zotto battling 1-on-2. Not a battle you're going to win all too often. Here comes Germany. They got a man up the play, and the pass was mid-range to Jonas Trusch. Otherwise, he would have had a clear look on goal. And now we're going to see our first power play of this game. And it's going to go to Team Germany as Alberto Amati takes the cross-checking call. So he'll take a seat for 2 or less.
Absolutely crucial moment here for both Italy and Germany. If you're Italy, obviously, you're down 2-0 already. You've already given up 2 nice goals, and now you really have to dig deep here. What you want to do is take away that middle of the field, because that's what Germany's really been utilizing to create outside shots for themselves and creating a lot of congestion in that part of the field.
These are their big guns. Good handle on the low pass. They try the one-timer across to Bushi. Swing and a miss. Italy will look to clear and eat up some more of this clock. Good pressure, though, from the Germans forechecking. And Zulian forced to just flip this up and out of play. Ran out of options. He got swarmed by 3 German forecheckers.
And if you're the coach for Germany, that's absolutely textbook transition defenses you want to see. You want everybody on the hip of somebody. And on that play, you had 3 Germany defenders on 1.
The top unit power play remains on the floor. Boehm, who scored the latest Germany goal, he's parked with possession right now, bobbled it, and the defender is able to get out onto his hands. Now to the point, shot missed the net by quite a large margin, and what a block that was in front by the Italian defender. Dropping down to a knee, that's going to be a bruise that'll leave a mark. But that's a bruise that'll feel a lot better if Italy can leave this morning with a win under their belt.
Germany's really been favoring those bounce shots so far early on. Obviously, you saw the top shot up top early to start the possession out. But outside of that, they've been really favoring those bouncers.
Over halfway through this power play. Nothing overly dangerous on goal for Germany just yet, and they're going to get a late change. No Chris Bushi out for this one. So he'll take a breather on the bench, and the cold towel immediately gets put onto his neck. Shot through, 5-hole, scores, 3-0. And Germany, perfect 1-for-1 on the power play.
Once again, another step down bouncer again from Boehm. That's exactly what happened on the previous possession. He went right down there, took that shot, and like you said, just using, or like I said, utilizing different levels of the field and changing the goalie's eye level. Absolutely crucial to start this one out in Germany. They're running up and down the field.
Yeah, it's a really good point about changing the shot angle, like not keeping the shooters from one spot every time. If you can find a way to take it behind the goal, get the outside shots. We've seen Germany attempt some of these one-timers from the middle as well. The more you can get a goaltender moving, especially in an outdoor venue where the sight lines aren't necessarily what you're used to in the indoor game, and the sun is playing a big-time factor. I mean, that is going to, or it could at least ultimately decide this game, as Germany with, I mean, I think this is going to be credited to Italy for their first face-off win of the game, but Germany was able to get it pretty well the length of the floor, just not having clear-cut possession.
Germany's definitely been a better team in that regard to start this one out, but they've been competitive. It hasn't been like they've been blowing past them every single time.
Now Soroketti. Dudemain is going to roll, doesn't get the pass. Soroketti drags, shoots off the post. Oh, he's going to peel some paint off of the iron behind the netminder, Julian Lau, who, as our good friend Teddy Jenner likes to say, he'll thank his skinny red friend behind him. Now Italy with another reset. Late in this period, under 4 minutes to play. On the run, can't get the shot through. Soroketti can't find the loose ball. Del Zotto swarmed by 2 defenders. Shovel feed across, low release. That'll miss the net, and it goes once again off the corner boards. Soroketti's going to have to shoot here late in the clock. He gets it on goal, but nobody near to find the rebound.
Germany's doing a really, really good job of congesting that middle of the field and not allowing Italy to take these easy shots. They're forcing them to take these outside, low percentage, bad angle shots. And it's giving Germany more and more possessions and allowing them to get off the field a little bit quicker.
3-0 is the lead. We'll hit our first media timeout and come back for the final 3.5 minutes of this first quarter when we return. Back to LCC, Radotín. It's day 2, game number 1 for us over here at the European Box Lacrosse Championships. Tino Farah, Luke Lee, and Italy versus Germany on the turf in front of us, but it's Germany with the early 3-0 lead, just coming off the power play marker just before the media break. Italy's going to try to run a set play here, coming out of the timeout, and a shot that may have gone in, had it not been for the butt end of the stick. Del Zotto whistles one wide, and now a fast break opportunity for Germany the other way. Here's Ben Owent. He'll drag a twister, denied by Crispo. No rebound to be found either.
That was an absolutely beautiful rep by Del Zotto, as obviously you had the one-on-one. Then you had another offensive player trailing behind you on a fast break behind the goalie. A really good job not only to play the offensive player with the ball, but also be able to split and make sure that behind the pass was not available.
And Germany's got another player leaking up the floor, but the forecheck of Italy slowed down that transition and allowed them to get a couple of defenders on to negate that opportunity the other way. But now the Germans will get their full fledge of offense back onto the floor. There's Leon Bohm out on that far side. Lassie Volkwartsen is going to go to the goal, and they're going to wave it off. Not sure that would have crossed the line regardless, but a crease violation gives possession back to Italy. Borgatti stops up at the line. Pressure starting to come towards him, but he looked up and saw his good buddy Del Zotto able to negate some of that pressure and allows Borgatti to change. Dudemain is directing traffic off ball right now. Looks like he's the only lefty on the floor. Going to try to ISO on his defender. Good slide came over as well. A double team took away that opportunity. Dudemain unable to shoot. What a defensive shift that was. And now some transition the other way for Germany on the run. Crispo makes the save. I mean, that whole defensive shift for Germany just put Lucas Dudemain in an absolute blender.
There was absolutely nobody there. I mean, he looked all over the side of the field. There was nobody in off-ball movement that was really open. And just like you said, a great defensive shift for Germany.
Here's Bohm with it again. One goal already in this opening quarter. Lefties are going to do a bit of work. Drive underneath. Got to force the guy low. Italy able to do that. Shot through the middle, and it's in! Making a 4-0 lead, and Chris Bucci has his first of the game.
And on that play defensively for Italy, there was a little bit of a miscommunication. I believe it was William Vitelli. I don't know what he was confused about, whether he was a slide guy, what it was, but he was very late there. Maybe might have been number 15, David Policioni. Either way, there was a defensive miscommunication for Italy, and again, Germany's going to take those every single time. Another step down shot, and that's too easy.
I believe it was actually Aaron Trapp who scored the goal. 36, not 21, if I'm... Sorry, 34, not 21, if I'm not mistaken. I'll get that confirmed once we get our way to the intermission, which is going to come in about 80 seconds of game time. Italy still looking for their first. A 4-goal deficit in the sport of box lacrosse is not an unsurmountable lead, but they got to get one. It always starts with one. Now here's Zulian. He can certainly fill the net himself, looking at the 7-hole, and Lau will hang on to it, and there's a penalty on the play by the looks of things. So Italy will look to return the favor against Germany with their first power play.
And you can tell that Italy is a little bit, they're starting to feel the pressure a little bit. Down by 4 goals early in the first quarter. They've had a couple penalties. Now they're going to get a big man-up situation for themselves. But you can tell with the shot selection there, they're trying to get back in a couple shots, and that's not exactly what they want to do. You're going to have to slow it down a little bit, get the tempo going, and start to feel this Germany defense out.
They've missed the net far too many times for my money here in this first quarter. But what an opportunity this would be. You've got Lucas Dudemain at the point, backdoor cut, and Del Zotto just dropped it before he could shoot. Now Germany with a chance to cut off some of this time. It was a cross-checking call to Max Becker, who takes a seat watching on anxiously in the heat. I'm sure that's got to be an even worse feeling now with this temperature. Now we're into the final 30 seconds of this first quarter. A late goal from Italy would put them in a much better position heading into the break. And they're going to have 20 seconds remaining, but probably by the time their power play gets set, that's going to run down to about 12 to 10 seconds remaining. Dudemain jogging his way on. The 10-second count is on, directing traffic. He feeds to the far side. Shot scores! With 6 seconds left on the clock, they finally get one back. Both teams will be 1 for 1 on the man advantage, and Italy is on the board.
And again, Italy has been very much favoring these outside shots, and that was Scott Del Zotto just shifting in a little bit. That creates a little bit confusion for Germany defensively and allows Italy to take the outside shot. and comfortably put it in the back of the net.
That just completely changes the feel of this quarter now for the Italians, to be able to go into the break and say, okay, we've got one. That's step one. Now, how do we stack these shifts? And it's not going to be a face-off that is likely going to matter all too much. Germany's going to try to make something happen here with 5 seconds to go. Right away, they shoot from way downtown. An easy stop for Crispo, who has been pretty good in this first quarter, and they're going to need more of him heading into the remainder of this game. 4-1 is the lead in favor of Germany. We'll take a quick breather here at the EBLC. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back after this. Back inside LCC Radotín. Second quarter action coming right up between Italy and Germany. And it's the Germans with the 4-1 lead through 15 minutes of action. But, Luke, the Italians get a late power play goal. That changed the feel for them a little bit. What does Italy have to do now to try to get a foot in the right direction against this high-powered German team?
Well, Tino, it's going to all start at the face-off, X. I know I'm a little bit biased as the next face-off guy, but you want to have to be able to maximize as many possessions as you have. And for Germany, for Italy offensively, you really want to slow things down, not try to force things like they were early on.
Early chance there for Borgatti off the face-off. It wasn't the cleanest win. Oh, and Del Zotto with a backhander. Didn't miss by much off the end boards. But all of that, like you're talking about, it develops right off of a good face-off effort. Now Germany with Leon Bohm. He had a goal in the first quarter. Don't be surprised if you hear his name called again, finding the back of the net. Don't be surprised if Chris Bouchy scores sooner than later either. This time he plays the role of facilitator, but the one-time shot is handled nicely by Crispo.
That's a really great play selection right there for Germany. Wismer, he was open. Obviously, the defense was there from inside the net, but either way, great play selection.
Back over goes against Italy. It seems like the forecheck from Team Germany is providing some issues for the Italians exiting their zone. There's a seam pass that goes off the mark, but Germany will keep possession. 20 seconds remaining on their shot clock. Volkwartsen, he'll shoot, looking to the low corner. Another kick save for Crispo. Rebound comes to the near wall. A lane opens up through the middle. Pass to the outside. One more. And through the middle, just one too many passes for Germany. Someone's got to shoot the ball.
But either way, that ability to pass to multiple different offensive players and set up for multiple different spots is what makes this Germany offense so dangerous from so many different levels, is that every single guy out there so far has been capable of scoring.
And the forecheck causes some more problems. Here's Volkwartsen with all sorts of room behind the goal. It was a fake shot, gives it to Bushi on the dunk, and Germany goes up 5-1.
I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but I keep saying it. You got to change the eye level of the goalie. You go from up top to intermediate to the left, and then back behind to Bushi, who ends up diving in for the goal. And like you said, it's just that ability to change different levels and keep the goalie and the defense not really in a comfortable spot, and it allows this Germany offense to be so dangerous and dynamic.
And that's the depth as well of Germany that we were talking about in the first quarter. Of course, Bushi gets the goal, but that pass from Lasse Volkwartsen does all of the work. And to be able to draw the attention away from Bushi behind the goal, that is the key factor of that one. Just an outrageous pass to be able to sell the goaltender on the shot. Now Del Zotto steps into one, may have caught a deflection. It goes off the dasher and out of play, so Italy will keep possession.
There's been a lot of small things for Italy so far. I mean, I think you remember the Del Zotto drop from early on where he was right in front of the net. There's been a lot of smaller things for them they need to fix up.
Oh, now a bobbled loose ball and another fast break opportunity. This is David Beckman in alone, robbed by Crispo. What a glove stop on the stick side.
And that is excellent timing right there from Samuel Crispo. I mean, fast break coming down. You have to time that perfectly to when he's releasing that ball to make sure you're in the right spot, as that is a heck of a play.
And remember, now the shade is in the German crease, so we'll see how the netminder Julian Lau deals with that. Hasn't had to see anything too dangerous just yet. A shot from the outside. That goes just wide of the goal. You can see the Italians, they're looking to those upper corners, and now maybe a fast break for Germany. Open on the crease, scores! Back-to-back for the Germans, it's a 6-1 lead.
That's a really, really tough position you have as a transition defender. You got the 2-on-1. You can see Italy, they were making a sub defensively, and Germany, they just took advantage of that, and you had the 2-on-1. Crispo, what are you going to do? Changes the eye level a couple different times, goes up high, down low, back up high.
Now a 5-goal advantage for Germany. Just about 3 minutes through this second quarter. Italy's got to get something going here, but like we said before, they've just missed the net far too many times on their offensive chances. Remember, they had that disallowed goal in the first quarter as well. That stings for them. Lengthy face-off battle, and they're going to say a loose ball push will give possession back to the Italians.
Italy's been a little bit wasteful with their offensive possessions. They need to maximize them more and realize that, hey, these offensive possessions in this kind of game can come far and few between. You have to do the most of them, especially when going against a high-powered offense like Germany.
Skaka Barazzi is back on. Lucas Dudemain shoots over a screen, didn't get it on goal. That'll ricochet back towards the center line.
It's a beautiful forecheck.
Now Borgatti has it. Still Italy's possession, so they've only got 3 seconds to shoot. And they wind up giving it away. It's another 2-on-1, and that'll be stopped by Crispo. Saw that one a little better this time around. And remember, World Lacrosse rules here, so a ball that's loose in the crease that's not covered is a live ball. The opposing team can still pick that up, which is what you just saw the German forechecker attempting to do. And now they'll just let it trickle back towards their own netminder as well.
Borgatti was lucky on that previous play that they were able to mitigate the damage.
Now Germany will get it back towards the perimeter. 13 seconds remain on their shot clock. Righty strong for them. Bushi in the corner, flip to Volkwartsen, and that may have caught a piece of the iron. Looking low to the glove side.
Heck of a deflection by Crispo again. Really great cut, and play design all day has been there for Germany.
The Italians not happy with the officials right now. You can hear them barking from the bench. They do get a shot off and a reset. That pass is bobbled from Del Zotto, and it's another turnover and a breakaway from their own side of center. Once again, the dunk from over top. A dip and dunk finish from Germany, making a 7-1 lead. The floodgates have opened for the Germans, and they don't have any signs of slowing down.
And you can see there, Italy was just trying to drop the ball off there, just trying to get something going on the offense. And for Germany, David Beckman, he was all over it the whole time. You can see how aggressive he was. He was checking before that ball even got there, and the second it got there, he knocked it out, picks it up, and then what are you going to do from there? A fast break.
Very close to being in the crease was that latest Beckman goal. And remember, he had that breakaway chance earlier this quarter that would be denied by Crispo. This time, he gets a look at the dip and dunk and makes no mistake. Here's Chris Bushi. Scored that dunk from behind the goal earlier. Over to Bohm. Bushi wants it back. He gets it. Room to shoot and whistles that off the end glass.
Solid rotational defense from Italy on that play. Nowhere really for Bushi to go with it, and decides just to go the sidearm set down.
And now we're going to get our first hydration break of this quarter. And we'll see how the teams are going to want to play this. And I say that because now we've seen the Germans, they've got an umbrella over on their bench. They have some of their players going to sit up in the bleachers because there's a little bit of coverage from the sun. Italy's now going to do some of that as well. They've got one player going to sit in the far side corner just to get any kind of relief from the sun. And that's the advantage of having the early game is, I mean, not a ton of people here to watch this game just yet, so there is some available seating to be able to get some shade.
Also, you're able to get a nice little break, enjoy the rest of the day, maybe walk around Prague a little bit, you know, take it all in.
Yeah, I mean, that's an important thing as well. I mean, yes, of course, everybody wants to perform, and an event like this, it is a qualifier event for the World Championships. I believe, if I understand correctly, it's the top 11 teams qualify for the World. So that's kind of going back to my point that I mentioned before about it being both a long and a short tournament. You don't have a ton of time to kind of find your footing. You got to hit the ground running, which by the looks of things, Germany has certainly done that. But you know, you also want to make sure you are taking in the experience for the people, I mean, for like ourselves in the broadcast booth that have traveled from far, the players that have traveled from far as well. I mean, Chris Bushi coming over from Ontario to come and play in this tournament. While you want to be competitive and the result is important, you also have to enjoy the experience overall.
No doubt about it.
And now possession is going to start, I believe, in favor of Italy. The whistle came following the stop from Samuel Crispo. So he's back into his crease. The Italians have their forwards out on the opposite side of center, and it's going to be a one-on-one battle leaving the defensive end for Italy. And I mean, yes, there's a lot of room to run, but the forecheck for Germany, we've been talking about it all game. Finally, Italy will just turn on the jets. A good decision by Tony Langoni. That will drop through. Dudemain picks it up. Right place, right time, but he missed the net again. Dudemain shovels it towards the perimeter. That's picked off. Hard hit through the middle. Ball is still loose. It's batted towards the near wall.
Germany's been so quick here on the ground balls.
And Bastian will collect. I mean, the pressure from the Germans has been, I would say, the biggest outlier in this game so far. But there's a good trail check that takes away what was looking to be a clear shot for Bohm. He's open again on the near side. He gets it on the one-timer, but bounces that a little early and out of play.
Again, putting more and more pressure on this Italy defense. They face a lot of shots here early on, and obviously 7 goals given up, but just the sheer volume they faced so far early on, you can't help but expect it.
There's a lot of lacrosse left for the Italians. I remember calling their final game of the World Lacrosse Box Championships in Utica, New York in 2024. Their last game of the tournament was against the U.S. Virgin Islands, and that was a game that they trailed by, I think, as many as 8, if I remember correctly, and they wound up climbing all the way back to win that game. It was just a crazy game to close out the tournament for them. So they have that in them. They have the ability to come back, but I mean, arguably as important as them dialing in some of their shots, they got to find a way to stop this high-flying German offense. Here's Bushi with a backhand flip to the corner. He and Lassie Volkwartsen have teamed up a couple of times on some nice plays. Just 1 goal for their efforts between the two of them so far.
And you can see how dangerous this Germany offense has been with their picks and their ability to get guys open and can really frustrate this Italian defense.
Another sidearm release that goes wide of the goal. That's got to be what Italy's talking about once they get to halftime is, guys, we got to start to hit the net. We've hardly tested the goaltender. I don't have the shots in front of me right now. I can get that in a couple of minutes, but would have to imagine it's probably a 2-to-1 margin right now in favor of Germany. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Italy's in single digits right now for shots on goal, just considering the amount of times that they have missed the net. Net is empty right now for Germany. So they go to the extra attacker on a delayed penalty, and the referee right at center floor pointing directly at Lucas Dudemain on the call. 2 minutes for slashing from behind the play, and Germany's already scored a power play goal in this game. They have a chance now to go a perfect 2 for 2.
Talk about having to stop Germany from putting goals in the back of the net, but Samuel Crispo's actually had a pretty solid day back there in the net. But just with how consistently Germany's been able to get open shooters, it's really tough when you're in the back of the net like that.
Yeah, you wear down the goaltender. Here's Boehm from behind. His pass in front intercepted by the captain, Zulian. He's going to spin and work his way forward. If he can pick up the speed, it's a 2-on-1. He's going to shoot, and it'll be a stick stop in tight. Lau drops down and keeps his stick down as well.
Kind of questioning why he didn't just pass that one off there. It felt like it would have been a better chance right there, as there was really nobody, around Borgatti.
And, I mean, that might have been one of the slowest 2-on-1s that we've seen, as Italy may have just taken another penalty here by the looks of things. Have to imagine that's going to be a board. We'll wait for the official signal from the referees. And if it is indeed a boarding call, the question is going to be, is that a major or is that going to be a 2-minute minor? Regardless, it's going to be a 2-man advantage for Germany.
Already you're down by 6 goals, and now you're down by 2 guys on the field. Ironically, I will say, though, I think Italy has actually done a pretty good job, even though they have already given up a man down goal. I do believe that they've actually done a pretty solid job on that side, as they've been able to take away a little bit of a better job in the middle of the field when they're playing so closely there compared to when they have 5 on the field.
So it is just a 2-minute minor for cross-checking. There's the underhand feed, all sorts of room, as Bushi will shoot, and Bushi will score right to the top corner, short side. 8-1 Germany over the Italians.
That was just Germany playing pitch and catch. I mean, what are you going to do? It's a 5-3 field advantage for Germany on the play, and you just have to get, in that situation, you just have to get the ball around enough to where you find the open guy. And ironically, Chris Bushi was the open guy there.
Yeah, if there's one guy that you don't want to have an open lane to shoot, it's probably 21 in white. But, I mean, what can you do for Italy? And it's interesting as well for the people that don't necessarily watch as much box lacrosse as they do field. Typically on a 5-on-3, you will leave a defensive player at center to just kind of play safety and then go 4-on-3, as to not create too much chaos in the middle or not take up more space than is needed. You can wind up spreading out the defense a little bit more that way, and then you can save the back over or get the ball back up to your offense.
Felicioni, I believe, was also playing a little bit down further behind the crease than maybe he would have liked in a more ideal situation.
The power play continues on here for about a minute and a half. Regular 5-on-4 now. Bushi tries to go behind the goal once again. Last time it was him parked back there for the dunk. This time he tried to feed Leon Boehm. And again, the forecheck just forces Italy to launch this the length of the floor, and it's getting a little chippy in Italy's end as the captain, Zulian, was feeding Per Anders Olters some cross-checks away from the play. Here is Anders Olters with a shot off the glove. Ricochets along the sideboards. Back up top to the point. Justin Weismer. Olters back to the point. Weismer drags inside, scores. Germany perfect on the power play. 3 for 3 to start this game, and almost at a 10 spot before halftime.
And Mitchell Zulian right there, the captain, he was playing just a little bit too far out on that power play defense, and it's tough because you're trying to split two offensive players right there. But you can see he kind of leans in just a little bit too much. Needs to commit just a little bit more to try to force that pass outside so he can get the slide from down low from Antonelli.
You're almost begging the shooter at that point to take the shot. And I mean, as we've seen from Germany, some pretty lethal shooters. So if you're going to give them an opportunity, it's sort of like the reaction of, really? You want me to shoot? Sure. So Germany now up 9-1. And again, a perfect 3 for 3 on the power play. Looking for 10. That'll be off the pad of Crispo and out of play.
Again, the late sub for Germany right there, trying to go on the bouncer. Just Crispo able to get there before the shot gets there.
Feels like Italy's hardly had the ball in this second quarter. haven't really been able to build on that late first quarter goal from them on the man advantage. Now Davide, he'll collect with one hand on his stick. Got to protect that. He'll turn on the Jets. Does he want to go to goal? He'll shoot off of Lau, and no rebound to be had. And there looks to be a penalty against Germany, I believe. An illegal substitution is going to be the call, giving Italy a chance on the power play to get their second goal of the game.
Huge opportunity for Italy, down by 8 in the second quarter. I mean, like you said, they were down by 8 in a game you saw, so they have something in them to try to make a comeback, but it's all going to have to try to slow things down on offense and just take advantage of the fact that you're up here and try to mitigate some of this pressure that Germany's putting on them, because Germany can't be as aggressive in this situation as they typically would.
And we'll see now how their high penalty killers want to play this. Remember, like you were talking about, Luke, on the last set for Italy, the top guys very spread out, and we're seeing that here from Germany now. Can Italy take advantage of it? An early shot from Del Zotto is stopped. That'll ricochet back to the outskirts of the offensive zone. The Italians keep possession. Dudemain dragging across the floor. Del Zotto with room, shoots, and Lau makes another save. Italy gets another reset. Sorochetti, he'll fake the shot. Del Zotto looking to the short side, and Lau with 3 straight saves to kick off this power play. 30 seconds into it, and Italy has had possession the whole time. Across the floor, unsuspecting target, but they're able to keep possession. Sorochetti puts that into the logo. Zulian playing defense and offense for this team. Italy gets another reset, and Del Zotto with a riser. He sails that wide of the goal, and it comes all the way down the floor. That will bring us to our final media timeout of the first half, giving each of these teams a little bit of a breather, and there they go once again up to the bleachers to find some shade. 9-1 is the score. 4:28 remaining in the first half. We'll be back after this.
Pivo z rodinného pivovaru, kde řemeslo a tradice jdou ruku v ruce.
Back just in time for the remainder of this second quarter. Italy remaining on the power play for a little over a minute. And right away, possession goes back to the Italians despite Germany having the ball themselves. They give it away, and the Italian power play making their way back on. Another shot that goes off of Lau. Way back to center goes the rebound, and the power play now will fully make their way back onto the floor with 50 seconds to work with.
I hate to be overcritical, and I hate to be the guy that beats a dead horse, but you have to change the shot location. You can't keep going low and bouncing. You have to try to test up top.
Del Zotto right on cue.
Oh my God.
He'll go low to the short side this time, but it's another power play goal for the Italians. We'll see now if they can build on that. Well, making you eat your words, man.
Well, that's the broadcaster curse right there.
Yeah.
You say one thing and then something else happens, but they keep hammering that low shot in. I mean, the Del Zotto, the step-down sidearm shot, it just curves and breaks right at the last second. It looked like it was going to go straight, and then it curves and breaks right into that bottom right corner, and just enough space. But my point still stands.
Yeah, I mean, that is a goal scorer's shot. Just inside the post. Now there's another penalty coming up to Team Germany. The special teams may wind up being the big factor in this game by the end of it. Italy has the goaltender on the bench. Extra attacker. Delzato is back on as well, the latest goal scorer. Dudumain at the point. He's going to backpedal towards the wall. They'll try behind the goal. They want the dunk, and it's defended. Blocked by a defender in tight who got a cross-check on the downed Italian player. 2 minutes for holding is going to be the call, and the downed player for Italy, you can see him making his way to the bench right now. That's Gabriele Sorichetti, and he's usually on for the power play, so this is a loss for the Italians that they're going to try to find a little bit of vengeance for. Otherwise, the power play remains the same as Paolo Scacca-Barazzi will come on to replace the aforementioned Sorichetti. And he's going to go straight down to the crease. This time, Delzato is going to run quarterback. Here is Delzato. We haven't seen Dudumain at that far side shooter position all too many times. Delzato gets another one. Make it a perfect 3 for 3 for the Italians on the man advantage, equaling the total for Germany.
That was a great job from Italy to get that ball around, feel the Germany defense out, see how they shift, see how they move, right? Don't just let them be ultra aggressive on you. Obviously, you're a man-up situation, power play. It's a little bit different than traditional 5-on-5, but either way, just ability to feel that defense out, and then guess what? Change up the shot location. You went up high, you went into the corner, and what do you know? You change the shot location, and good things happen.
Works out here and there. And now, for the first time in this game, Italy able to score back-to-back goals. Italy has had possession for the last little while due in no small part to their power play, and that's probably going to be the message on the German bench right now. Got to stay out of the box. Clearly, the Italians can score with the man up, as can Germany. Both teams 3 for 3 on the power play, and now with 3 minutes remaining until the halftime breather.
That was some really tight defense right there from Luca Verisi to force the pass down that ultimately results in Italy being able to transition and create another offensive possession.
Scott Delzato gets it down low. Langoni, and that shot from Dudumain denied in tight by Lau. And I mean, you're noticing kind of the difference between the two teams. Like, no forecheck whatsoever from Italy. Their priority is just to get off the floor. Meanwhile, at the other side, Germany oftentimes are sending 2 or 3 guys right to the ball carrier, and it's created extra opportunities for them. Now, Weismer on his toes, trying to make a move, and a crease violation. They looked for the dunk, but unable to avoid that crease line. Behind the goal was Per Anders Olters.
That was a beautiful rep right there by Luca Verisi again to force him down the alley.
Now Dudumain, a 2-on-1. He shoots it wide. It goes out of play. I mean, how many times have we said that? Shot wide. Now it's a 2-on-0 for Germany. Volkwartsen, he touches down in the crease. Can't beat Crispo. Stayed with him the whole way. Under 2 minutes to go. There's the pressure from Germany. What a spin away from that pressure by Steven Pelliccioni. And he's going to stay and play the shift. He wants to drive on his man, protecting again with one hand on his stick. Tries to catch the netminder sleeping. Doesn't work out. And again, an easy loose ball picked up by Germany. A man off the bench. It's Bushi. He bobbled it. He'll pick it up in the corner. Had a man open in front for a moment. He'll just wait to let the rest of his offense trickle onto the floor.
It's a veteran move by Bushi.
Yeah, no need to rush it. Weismer has it. Gets the screen set. This is Bushi looking for a roller. He'll skip to Bohm. Back across the floor. Bushi scores! 10-3. Germany leads late in the half.
And you could feel the command from Chris Bushi and this Germany offense. That ability, slowing it down first off the start. Don't force things, right? Let it develop. And then from there on out, just that ability to get it around, feel the defense out. You already had a lot of success against these guys, so you want to see how they're filling out, see if they make any adjustments. They don't, step down, shot taken, and you got another one.
That is just Chris Bushi asserting his dominance on an offensive set. Remember, he bobbled the pass that would have been a 2-on-1 chance, then wound up picking it up. He decided to slow it down, gets the ball back, and goes right to the goal. Now Dudumain may have taken a little bit of knee-on-knee contact. Looks like he's all right. He picks it up out of the air, absorbs some contact, and can't beat Lau at the 5-hole. That's a big save for him. Now another fast break chance. It's another 2-on-1. Volkwartsen! A short side rip off the bench into the back of the net. Now 11-3 with 37 on the clock.
And Germany's had a number of these fast possession plays, these fast breaks to where they haven't been able to completely take advantage of it because of some sort of miscommunication, or maybe it's a drop, whatever it is. And right there, that's not happening. They finally put it all together, and they put an absolutely beautiful goal on the board. Knocking a goal out of play, too.
Yeah, did a pretty good job, I would say, to avoid contact with the netminder. I remember seeing his name on a Poco Saints Junior A roster a couple of years ago, and you're always a little bit curious, maybe a little bit skeptical when there's a European player that comes over to play Junior A box lacrosse in Canada. You know, like, how well are they going to fare over here? But right away, as soon as he got into the lineup for the Poco Saints, stood out immediately. Played some games at the Junior B level as well, and was arguably the best player in the league for his stint while over there. And you can just see the offensive abilities for him as soon as he steps on the floor, and to be able to play with a talent like Chris Bushi and some of these other German shooters. I mean, you can just see the chemistry build and build as this game has gone along. And now Italy has called a timeout. They can hold for final possession more or less here for the final set of this first half. I know, obviously, I mean, the easy answer is going to be to change up the shot location, but what do you need to see from Italy to feel that they're putting themselves in a good position going into the second half?
Well, they need to obviously make some adjustments offensively, but the big thing is going to be, I think what really stood out to me on the power play was their ability just to calm down, right? Do what Germany's been doing, right? Have some confidence in your ability. You're here at the European Box Lacrosse Championship Series for a reason, okay? It's not like you guys are some scrubs at lacrosse. You guys have skills. You have to go out there and just trust those, right? Don't try to do everything at once and try to force some things on offense. I feel like a lot of the time they try to rush their possessions. They need to just slow it down.
32 seconds are going to be on the clock. Crispo is making the jog to the bench for the extra attacker, so they're going to try to eat as much of this clock as possible as to not give Germany a shot at the empty net. Del Zotto is back on the floor. He's got the latest 2 goals for Italy on hat-trick watch. Have to imagine he's going to be an option for a shot. They try one early on, and Italy's got to be careful here. The net is empty. Lau is going to throw it down the floor. And Germany, by the looks of things, they call their timeout. The ball is going to have to start from their own side of center. I just don't know about that decision from Italy to shoot that early in the clock. You had an opportunity to get it down to, what, 2 or 3 seconds overall, really hold for one high-quality shot, and it just looked like they jumped a little bit early on. And that kind of goes back to your point, you know, needing to calm down a little bit and not feel like you're in that panic scenario.
Absolutely, and I think I was thinking about this as soon as I got off. Really, what I think the best thing they have to do is they have to try to find a way to counter how aggressive Germany has been on defense. And I don't personally know how they're going to do that. That's up to the coaches. But whatever they decide to do, whether it's just throwing out more cutters or it's, you know, throwing maybe some off-ball movement, whatever it is, you have to figure out something to try to counter how aggressive Germany's been defensively, because that's part of the reason why Italy has just been so jumpy.
I would just love to see the Italians get a little bit more aggressive on the rebounds, try to get some resets. But we'll see. There's 10 seconds on the clock. The German net is empty. 6 on 5. Volkwartsen gets it down to the corner. Skip across through the middle. Boom, shot through a screen. Didn't make its way on goal. And that is going to do it. Germany storms out in the first half. They lead over Team Italy 11-3. And we will take a quick breather, step aside, and bring you the remainder of this game. Second half action coming up next from LCC Radotín. Thanks for joining us. My name's Tino Farrell alongside Luke Lee. We'll be back with more when we return.
What is it, halftime? Did you make quarters or half?
3 quarters. 3 quarters.
Is it? It was cooler up there too. It's like here. And it's like not even that bad. That's amazing. Is it? I was just gonna say that's no. Yeah. Oh, let's drag it out. I can't do that. I took a whole year. It doesn't hurt, but I get like weird warmth. I usually do too.
Well, hopefully you've made your way back towards your screens, and if you have, that's perfect timing because we are about 30 seconds away from kicking off the second half of this game between Germany and Team Italy. It's been all Germany all the time. If you missed any of the opening half, let me get you caught up. 4 goals from Chris Bushi, and then singles across the board for all of David Beckman, Pers Anders Olters, Aaron Trapp, Lassie Volkwartsen, Florian Werner, and Justin Weismer. For the Italians, 2 of their 3 goals have been scored from Scott Delzato. Both of them came back-to-back, and Tony Langoni has the only other one for Team Italy. For anybody that didn't watch, as well, welcome back, Tino Farah, Luke Lee here. Luke, fill us in. How did Germany have so much success against this Italian team, because it feels like they kicked it off as soon as the first whistle went.
Well, it all starts at the face-off line. Obviously a biased ex-face-off guy, but it all starts at the face-off line, maximizing your offensive possessions, and also the ability to slow everything down on offense and really just take everything in. Okay, see what Italy's doing out there defensively. It's really just been the big difference, and also just how physical they've been on defense and that ability to take the fast break and really extend offensive possessions.
The aggressiveness for Team Germany has been another key factor for them. You'll watch every time they lose a possession in the offensive zone, 1, 2, 3 guys swarming the attempted loose ball pickup by an Italian defender. And on the other side, we're just not seeing that from Italy, or at least we haven't yet. So Germany will win the opening faceoff. They'll get, well, they were about to get the first possession, but a great strip check by Vitelli on Benno Wendt gives it to the Italians. And I would argue they need to have a big start to kick off this half. Otherwise, it seems like Germany is just going to start to run away with this.
Absolutely. You love to see the aggressiveness to get that ball early out the gate, because they were really missing that in the first half.
And a set play there from Del Zotto to Lucas Dudeman, and a good early stop from Julian Lau takes it into the shoulder. Now Germany will get their first set. A late change to bring on a couple of extra forwards in the trailer is going to be Mr. 4 goals himself, Chris Bushi. The trailer with room. He'll create that space for Volkwartsen. Those two teamed up on the Bushi dunk earlier on, and Crispo will make his first stop of this second half.
That was a beautiful stop by Crispo, because that was a sidearm shot down to the, and it wasn't a bouncer either. It was a straight shot down, and absolutely beautiful from Crispo.
And some of these guys aren't necessarily used to playing on turf as well, depending on where you're from, depending on what your home arena has. Del Zotto puts that off the post. Like, some guys are used to playing on concrete. From out in BC, we have a couple arenas where it's a wood floor. Of course, in New Westminster, Queen's Park Arena, the very well-known and historic wooden floor, as well as in Burnaby. And then, I mean, Chris Bushi is one of the guys who is used to playing on turf in his NLL days with the Toronto Rock. Volkwartsen may have caught some iron. Crispo caught a piece of it, but there's another reset for Germany, picking up right where they left off. Bushi will bounce it across the restraining line. They'll feed behind the goal. Thought about the dunk. Bushi will take it on the run, and Crispo with another nice stop.
Regardless of the outcome of that play, another great example of Germany utilizing all different parts of the field, starting up top, going intermediate, and then going behind, back to up top, and creating the shot opportunity.
Zulian gives it away. Benno Wendt leading the rush. He's got a man up to play. It's Beckman, puts it wide. His third breakaway of this game. He scored on one of them, but he just continues to prove all sorts of costly against Italy in transition. Always got to be aware when 9 in white is on the floor.
Italy's been a little bit late on some of those transitions, as well as some of their substitutions, and it's definitely shown.
Now Dudeman on the drive, robbed by the netminder, as another one by Lau deflects behind the goal. Lucas Dudeman has done everything but score in this game for the Italians. He takes a hit up high, looking for a call from the official. Remember, Lucas Dudeman scored 40 goals in Utica 2024 in 8 games played, put up 60 points. He'll shoot another one that would be denied by Lau. Feels like it's just going to be a matter of time before Dudeman is able to find the back of the net. But right now, Julian Lau is getting the upper hand on him. Germany with it once more. Hard swing over to Bushi. He'll drive on his man with a nice flip. Tough one to handle, though. It'll be settled by Florian Werner, and they get another one. Make it a 12-3 lead. Burnaby keeping their foot on the gas.
Again, that ability to not only corral that ball, it was a tough catch right there to bring that back, but also to keep the head up while you're moving and see the open man in the corner right next to the goal. As the far side shooter down below, that's a really tough throw to make, and especially as he was trying to corral that pass, you see he immediately lets that thing go, and his head was up the whole time to see that was there.
Yeah, another one in which the pass, in this case from Chris Bushi, does a lot of the work. You have to put that into that perfect spot where the shooter, I mean, you can't be looking at your stick whatsoever. You got to be in a perfect position to shoot, and to be able to get that shot off, the pass has to be in a perfect location as well. And that's what you just saw between the combination of Chris Bushi and Pers Anders Olters, picking up his second of the day. Soroketti, he got a little roughed up in the first half. Looked like he's moving all right, and almost beats Julian Lau. And there's a good reset led by Delzato. They're going to need him to carry the bulk of this load if the Italians have a chance at coming back in this game. Trailing by 9. Sorchetti over to Delzato, or excuse me, Delzato doing some work off ball. One away from his hat trick marker. Sorchetti finds topside. Delzato is open. He'll get it. A low shot. Lau handled it well. Ball is loose. Picked up. Another shot denied by Lau. And Italy all over the resets here. Just something we didn't see from them in the first half.
Way to have the head up, know the ball was there, and that's a great way to get on top of it and to beat Germany to it.
These defenders have been out there for a while. Italy is trying to make a late change to bring on some fresh legs themselves. There's a delayed penalty coming up against Germany. Crispo to the bench for the extra attacker. Early shot, almost got through the 5-hole, but Lau able to squeeze it between his legs. And now Italy will get a chance to build on this. Remember, both teams, including Italy, a perfect 3-for-3 on the man advantage coming into this one.
Absolutely, and again, there a little bit of an early shot, like you said, is maybe they could have waited for the play to develop a little bit longer, but either way, still adding a man-up situation for Italy here. Down by 9, absolutely massive.
This feels, I mean, there's still so much of this game to be played, but just considering the score, it feels like if Italy is going to come back, this is an opportunity in which they have to score. Here's Delzato. He's got a power play goal. Sorchetti, Dudemain, little room. He'll skip to Delzato. Looking across the crease, he'll shoot instead. Trying to catch Lau sleeping, but another stick save for the German netminder.
That was great man down defense from Germany right there, taking everything away. There was nothing for Italy to do, and there was just no space for their cutters to work.
Benno Wendt decides not to go to goal on his wrong side. A wise decision to just kill as much of this clock as possible. Still swing hard. Borgatti with a stiff check. As the shot clock winds down to 5. Across the restraining line again. Volkwartsen, a twister, a tricky shot. But that's not going to go on Crispo, and I believe we're going to get our hydration break for the two teams. So they'll each get a chance to hang out in the shade, get some water, and when they come back to the floor, there's still 1 minute and 8 seconds left of power play time for Italy. But I will say, in the argument in favor of Italy, I mean, they got 4 resets, if I remember correctly, on that last set. They're keeping the German defenders hemmed in their own zone for a while. They're just kind of getting goalied right now. Julian Lau is having an outstanding game. You're not seeing him make necessarily these big, outlandish, flashy saves, but very positionally sound. Doesn't have to be out of position all too often. And I mean, just ask Lucas Dudemain what he thinks of Julian Lau right now with the amount of opportunities he's had on goal and 0 goals under his belt so far.
Well, the shooting angles just haven't been there for Italy throughout this game. Like I said, Lau's done a really good job of covering up that goal and just not giving Italy any space to put that ball in the back of the net. And on top of that, Germany's been very, very disciplined on defense. There's been not a lot of space for Italy to work some cutters in there, and it's just been straight lockdown defense. You can't really say much more than that.
I mean, the entire hydration break, I mean, everybody, Samuel Crispo, the entire Italian bench, the entire German bench, they all go off to get some water. Julian Lau just stayed in his crease looking as relaxed as ever. That tells me that is a confident netminder, and they need him to be their best penalty killer now for the next 60 seconds. Here's Sorchetti. He'll backpedal his way, finding some more room, and a great glove save from Lau. Sorchetti tried to go outside, inside, but that top corner was taken away by the glove. So the penalty time winds down to 45 seconds. Germany can pretty well kill the bulk of this penalty off on this possession. They're going to lean on the far side with Justin Wismer. He's got a goal in this game as well. Volkwartsen, hard swing over to Bohm. Mishandled it. It'll bounce its way in the Italian zone. Pairs Anders Olters couldn't come up with it, and now Italy is going to have 23 seconds of power play time. They got to be quick to get their top unit back on. They try the hidden ball trick. That's bobbled. So by the time they get settled, I mean, it's going to be down to about 10 seconds of power play time remaining. Not a ton of time to work with. Here's Dudemain. Delzato. He scored the last time he was quarterbacking the man advantage. He'll try again. A riser off the shoulder of Lau. And now they'd be wise to hold on to this with the German defender coming out of the box. They're going to go. Dudemain denied. Maybe a fast break for Germany. Jan Frieder Starr. And that'll bring us a whistle. Is there an Italian penalty behind the play? By the looks of things, the answer to that question is yes. A slashing call to Gabriel Sorichetti, and that's just a frustration penalty you're taking at that point. The plays at the other end, frustrated with the performance, down by 9, 8 minutes to play in the quarter. I mean, that's just not a penalty you can be taking if you have a chance of coming back in this game.
No doubt about it. That's just one of those plays as a coaching staff. You really have to make it known to your guys, hey, this is where you have to get the discipline up. You have to keep the emotions in check because lacrosse, it's a physical game and you're going to have emotions, but you can't let those kind of mental mistakes happen.
They get the dunk and it goes. Boom. Another beautiful pass behind, and Crispo can't do anything about it. Now a perfect 4 for 4 on the power play is Germany, and that comes off of a big penalty kill just moments before that. The special teams very heavily favoring Germany all of a sudden.
You talk about German ingenuity in general. I mean, you talk about German cars, right? How about talk about German offensive ingenuity right there, right? Italy's doing a great job of taking away all sides of the field. So you know what Germany does? They go out there and they utilize every part of it like they have all day, and like at the last second just wrapping around the back of the crease and just putting it only where they can get it, and no opportunity for Crispo.
Remember, if Germany gets this to a 12-goal advantage in the second half, it becomes run time. Right now, the lead is 10. Chris Bushi has 4 in this game. Gets it to the lefties to do some work. Now back to the near wall. Bushi hollering for it in the corner. They've got 3 seconds to shoot. A tricky backhander. Volkwartsen knocked down from behind. That's going to be a penalty to Italy. And fresh off of their 4th power play goal, Germany's going to get a 5th chance already in this game. But you see the chemistry between Volkwartsen and Bushi, and yeah, that's about as clear cut of a penalty as you're going to get.
Just crashing down. It was the right time to crash down. It was great timing, but just the way you do it, you have to be a little bit more careful. You can't just be all reckless and try to lay a guy out. And like you said, another costly penalty for Italy.
So 13-3 is the lead. Volkwartsen is going to be parked in the near side corner. You'll see him appear in the shade to the left of your screens. Bushi has it now. Goes hard across. Bohm. Bushi open in the middle and took some contact. Stepped down to the crease as well, but another set motion for Germany on the power play, but they can't cash in.
Beautiful pick set by Anders Olters to set that play up either way. Great save by Crispo, but again, the ingenuity from Germany and their ability to set up their guys, it's been on display the whole game.
Bushi is going to just stay in the offensive zone, and Italy doesn't have anybody near him right now. They need to get somebody back to cover Bushi. Otherwise, it's a clear-cut breakaway, but it doesn't matter. Finally, Lucas Dudemain will find the back of the net short-handed. A bit of a jumper over the shoulder, and Italy's got one back.
A great play by Dudemain to switch the hands, go from the righty, cuts at it, and then ultimately goes the spin back, over to the left-hand side, and that's just an absolutely beautiful play. And it's tough when you have nobody right there in the middle of the field, and a great play by Dudemain to open up some space for him and create that angle.
First short-handed goal we've seen today. Germany remains on the power play. Italy will remain in possession off of a face-off violation. And now Lucas Dudemain, he's back onto the floor. He's finally broken loose and been able to beat Julian Lau. A bit of an unorthodox stance in terms of the netminder. So you don't really see the goal stick flat on the ground like you would typically see. A nice pass across, and Del Zotto is robbed by Lau. But it doesn't really matter if your stance is unorthodox. Clearly it's working for him.
Especially with how many low bouncer shots that Italy's been favoring all day. They haven't really been going too high. That's definitely, I think, played a part as to why he's been putting the stick down so low.
Power play back on. They've got 40 seconds to try to keep this perfect streak alive. Volkwartsen to Bushi. Now to the point. Shot through. Handled well by Crispo. Ball is into the air, and it's scooped up. Off to the races go the Italians. They got Del Zotto coming off the bench. Low pass. Couldn't handle it. Oh, if that's a little bit higher, that's a clear-cut chance for Scott Del Zotto to cash in and complete the hat trick. Now, pairs Anders Olters. He'll complete his hat trick. It'll be an unorthodox power play goal, but it'll all count the same, and the lead is back up to 10.
And again, there's been a number of plays where Italy has just not been able to finish on the fast break, and it leads them vulnerable in the back end of the defense. And again, they're not able to get their transition defenders on the field in time. And once again, if you're able to create that, long transition goal, that doesn't happen. But ultimately, go out there, you miss it, and then it puts you in a bad, vulnerable spot.
Italy's got to just be shaking their heads right now. They get what looked like it was going to be a chance for Del Zotto. The pass was, I mean, let's just be honest, not a great pass. And then at the other end, just seconds later, a transition opportunity. And Per-Anders Olters gets his third of the game. Germany 5 for 5 on the man advantage. Just unbelievable stuff from their special teams units. Now Davide having a hard time with the pressure and the loose ball bouncing in front of him. A fresh 30 is up for grabs depending on who grabs it. Oh, a hard cross check into the boards. That goes into the rib cage of Aaron Trapp. Looks like he's going to be able to stay out and play. Over to Bushi. Man open far side, and there's going to be an interference call against Germany. Possession is going to go back to the Italians when we return. 14-4 is the score with just under 5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Thanks for joining us in this matchup between Germany and Italy. We'll be back with more when we return.
The Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world.
Getting a look there at Julian Lau, who's been arguably the best player, if not at least one of them, for Germany. What a game he's been having here, holding or helping to hold Italy to just 4 goals. And arguably more impressive, keeping Lucas Dudemain to just 1, and it came just recently. Del Zotto's got 2. That shot's not going to go. Rebound for Soroketti on the bouncer, and Lau makes another save down on his knees.
It's a nice heads-up rebound either way. Obviously didn't end up resulting in any goal, but still creating a second opportunity shot for Italy.
Now Lau to the bench to the extra attacker. Delayed call coming up against Italy. Bad seemingly turning to worse for them right now. 15 seconds on the shot clock. 6 on 5 set underway in favor of the Germans. Per-Anders Olters, he's still got a towel on his neck, I believe, from the hydration break. Pass across over to Bohm. That doesn't work. Italy will collect it, and that'll bring an end to that possession, but bring a new beginning to yet another German power play. Currently 5 for 5. Oh, and Italy now pleading for a call. It's Tony Langoni who's saying that Per-Anders Olters should be getting a penalty for tossing his towel into the Italy bench. Well, regardless, they're going to need a big kill here, and they're running out of time if they're going to have any magic happen in this game. Trailing by 10. Power play has yet to miss for Germany. Bushi with a leaping swing of the stick helps create this possession to stay alive. Back to the middle of Volkwartsen, step down to the crease. Good motion there on some east to west passing. Now here come the Italians. Del Zotto, pass doesn't come. Zulian will shoot, and that goes off the netminder and out of play.
Again, Del Zotto, just that hustle to get on the field, that changes the entire outlook of that play, because that was what was able to open up that shot, because it drew the defenders inside of Del Zotto, allowing the shot to happen.
And remember, Scott Del Zotto is a right-handed forward. That means the change right now for Italy benefits him. He can step onto the floor and immediately be on his right side. if he's able to get a pass sent towards him. Now he'll draw a penalty, still with possession. Somehow, how did he hang on to this? And Lau makes the save. That would have been goal of the tournament on day 2 had that gone in. Scott Delzato somehow, some way, held onto that ball the entire time and still able to get a shot off while falling. Take another look at this.
And what an effort from Scott Delzato. I mean, that's absolutely unbelievable. It doesn't matter to the ball that it didn't go in. I mean, oh my goodness. He was getting dragged down by 2 to 3 different guys. And, I mean, wow.
Yeah, that's the epitome of an individual effort and almost getting rewarded for it. Penalty on the play, very clearly. And we'll see what the official signal from the referees is going to be.
It's all lower body strength. He's hitting leg day for sure.
2 minutes for holding. Yeah, that feels like the appropriate call to make. So now we're going to see 1 minute and 8 seconds of 4-on-4 before it'll be a shortened power play for Italy. But right now, just all sorts of room available on the floor with 2 less players out. And we'll see how this benefits guys like Dudumain and Delzato. Soroketti as well has been often going to the goal. This time Delzato will drive and look into the 5-hole. Lau has been good there all game long.
Nice setup there again for Delzato, but just not able to finish the play.
Bit of an alley-oop in transition, unintentionally. Beckman was streaking up the floor. Remember, he's had 3 breakaways in this game and has a goal on 1 of them. But it just seems like every time he's out, got to be aware of him cheating up the floor for a potential breakaway pass. 2 seconds to shoot. Germany can't get one on goal late. So now 20 seconds remaining of this 4-on-4. Zetsa will leave for Delzato, taking a peek around. Sees Dudumain making his way into the offensive zone. This is Soroketti. Back to Dudumain. And another one denied by Lau. Dudumain gets his own rebound. Back up top, Soroketti. The Italian penalty is complete. 50 seconds on the power play. Langoni. He came out of the box. He'll stay and play. Hard skip. Soroketti backpedals to the corner. Dudumain to Delzato. Backhand feed across the floor, looking for the one-timer from Soroketti, but a great stick in a lane negated that chance. Now Dudumain, and again Soroketti denied in tight, and he's taken down from behind. He'll draw the loose ball push. Possession stays with Italy.
The near side shot was open there, but like you said, the ability just to move that down, and they've just had so many shots here today, but it's just been a tough one for them.
Delzato denied by Lau.
And Lau, he's been on one today.
Yeah, he's having himself an incredible game, and now we're down under 90 seconds remaining in this quarter with his team comfortably in front by 10. 7 seconds remaining in this penalty. It'll be back-to-back Italian power plays where they've been unable to score, and because of the 4-on-4 action, well, here's Volkwartsen, and no goal. He stepped down in the crease, but just to finish that point, because Germany wound up taking a penalty which took themselves off of the power play, we have finally now seen a German power play that doesn't score a goal.
It's a first for everything, right?
First for everything, but hey, 5 for 6. Pretty darn good, I would say. Chance to drive. Massimiliano Bonazioni can't get through. Here comes Beckman. Those long strides, creating opportunities. He'll feed to the middle. Crispo with a save. Benowent tries to put it behind the goal to Beckman, but his stick got deflected, winds up out of play.
Great force check by Policioni to force that shot up, and what a play from the Italy defense to stress those 3 defenders. It was a 3-on-1 at one point, and then on top of it, Samuel Crispo able to forcing the shot out.
Now Dudumain has it, 27 seconds on the clock. There's about a 10-second difference separating the game and shot clock. Dudumain again tries 5-hole, and Lau with the stick save. Now Germany can hold for last possession. Remember, they've got their timeout to use if they want, but I mean, why would you use it at this point? Up by 10, final seconds. Might as well save it for the final quarter if you're even going to use it at all. But it looks like they're not going to be able to get anything on goal. as Italy just ties up the shooters before anything could make its way anywhere overly dangerous. 14-4 is the score through 45 minutes of game time. You're watching Italy versus Germany at 2026 EBLC. We'll be back with more when we return. One quarter remains here at LCC Radotín. It's day 2 of the European Box Lacrosse Championships. Thank you very much for joining us. Tino Farah, Lucas Lee. Should also say as well, make sure you follow along across the social channels. Send them a message. Let us know where you're watching from. Sure, all over Europe, as well as, I mean, the United States and Canada as well, with there being some Canadians and Americans on these rosters. But follow along and keep up with all the score summaries by the end of the day. There's some highlights going up on the Instagram as the highlights continue to make their way through these games. We almost saw just an outrageous goal from Scott Delzato right before the end of the third quarter. And while I'm looking up for my roster sheet, now a 2-on-1 the other way, and Crispo makes another save. But at the German end of the floor, the night appears to be done for Julian Lau, and Jonathan Sievers has come in for the remainder of this game, and Italy takes advantage of a cold goaltender. Took them about, what is that, 45 or so seconds, 42 seconds, and they get one on the board early on in this final quarter.
And what a way to fight right there. That was David Policioni fighting through contact, the lefty shot, and putting it just too far out for Sievers to get it, and just what a shot. And all on the run, too. That's a really impressive one. And like I said, cold goalie in transition. They finally get one of those transition goals to go.
This is something that Teddy and I were talking about yesterday in the women's game between Czechia and Finland, when Finland's second goalie wound up coming into the game in the second half. You know, we were talking about the message at that point just has to be test the goalie. It's a cold goalie, you know, hasn't really seen many shots. No shot is a bad shot at that point, and I think that's what Italy was just able to accomplish. Maybe some more, and they score! Back-to-back for the Italians. Gabriele Sorochetti makes it 2 straight.
And Mitchell Zulian, that all starts with him. That hustle right down the field. As you see him, he's moving real fast, and then the offensive transition right out the gate. That was Gabriele Sorochetti, and that hustle right out there, that creates that play. The one-on-one turns into a 2-on-1, and then it gets a cold goalie, like you said, back-to-back. And all of a sudden, Italy's got to be feeling himself a little bit better.
That's a really good point as well in terms of the effort from Zulian. He gets up the floor, but then he also slows down and brings the defender over to him, opens up a lane. Now more for the Italians! Back-to-back for Sorochetti! And look out for Team Italy all of a sudden on a 3 straight heater.
And it's just more of those fast break offensive plays as Italy's finally starting to get it going here offensively, and they've had a number of those plays where they had it set up, but they just weren't able to finish it. and finally they've just been able to start to finish. They've been able to get the ball in the stick, and it's absolutely beautiful to watch.
And you just wonder at this point, I mean, at what point, how many goals is Italy going to score before Germany maybe starts to think maybe we put Lau back in goal? Right now, I don't believe that Sievers has made a save yet. There's been 3 shots from Italy, and each of them have found the back of the net. And this lead, which at one point was 10, is now cut down to just 7. Bushi will score on the run and calm things down for Germany, make that his 5th of the game.
More calm veteran presence from Chris Bushi, just slowing things down like you said, and just using the pick, and that's a high IQ play right there. Seeing the pick, seeing he has just a little bit of space and just contorting his stick down low. And I mean, Crispo, he's been great all day, but that was an excellent shot. And what a way to slow things down for Italy, or for Germany, excuse me.
And on one of the earlier Chris Bushi goals, what we were talking about was sort of an asserting your dominance type of shift from the NLL pro Chris Bushi, and feels like that's what we just saw from them again. Oh, and Crispo winds up batting it into his own goal. Tried to sweep it off the goal line, but caught a tough deflection, and now Germany's made it 2 straight themselves.
Again, it's another one of those fast break plays right out. The offensive transition player comes out at the right spot, or right timing, excuse me. And a perfect throw. Throw was on time, throw was on target. And, I mean, what are you going to do? You can't really do a whole lot of that, and Crispo just happens to get the unlucky bounce back into the net.
Well, look out. The refs are talking about this. Italy, watching the replay on the big screen, they looked and saw the Germany shooter, Justin Weismer, step down in the crease before the ball actually crossed the line. And, I mean, we may have to get another look at that replay. If that is the case, I mean, the Italians have a case. That should be no goal. And still looking over at the screen. They're, none too pleased about that. And it just feels like the wind has been taken out of their sails after they scored the opening 3 goals of this quarter. Now back-to-back for Germany to end the run. Getting a little bit feisty as a hard slash comes from the Italian defender, Danny Davide. Got to stay out of the box if Italy's got any chance at the miracle comeback. Here's Bushi on the run and off the crossbar. And look out, that ricochets all the way back into the Italian bench. And I mean, we're in the heart of Radotín here. I mean, there are neighbors here. There are houses right on the other side of this venue. I mean, you got to look out for a broken window here and there. Hard skip over. Olter's denied by the glove. That'll be punched over to the half wall. Bohm looking for it 1-on-2. He's muscled down to the turf, and he's going to draw the loose ball push. He wants the quick reset. He's going to go to the goal, and a stick save by Crispo. He'll fall on top and smother it.
Again, the picks for Germany have been so good today. They've done a really good job of laying the body down and just creating open shots for their guys.
Now Soroketti has a pair of goals in this quarter. Del Zotto puts it into the face mask. Sievers, that's a tough save to make. And he'll be checking himself out for repairs. Now off the bench again, Bushi, robbed by Crispo. Oh, where is it? It was bouncing dangerously through the crease, but it's pulled away from danger by the Italian defender.
Heads up play by Mitchell Zulian to pull that one in there. And like you said, Bushi, he was coming quick off the transition, and heck of a save.
Now Dudeman on the run for the short side, missed the net. That'll be knocked down. Paolo Scacca-Barazzi keeps the play alive. Now Del Zotto, Soroketti, Del Zotto denied by Sievers. He's got the long goaltender's stick. That helps him feed that the length of center floor. Now left just inside the restraining line for Justin Weismer, who's looking for his 3rd. That'll be denied in tight. Aaron Trapp couldn't find his 2nd. Now behind the goal. Bushi wrapping it around. Crispo with the save. Reset goes the way of Germany.
Again, Bushi, he's creating so much tension back there. When he was sitting behind the crease, that was what created that top shot, was just because of where he is placed on the field.
Weismer, the backhand feed, twister shot in tight, couldn't go as cleanly as they had hoped. Crispo shopping for a target. He's going to launch that up towards the Italian bench. Oh, and Soroketti couldn't keep it in. winds up deflecting it into his own team's bench, and again the Italians want a call, and they're going to get it. It will be a loose ball push drawn by Sorochetti, so they'll keep possession. About 45 seconds away from a hydration break once we get a whistle come that point. Langoni. Pass took a deflection. Sorochetti still has it. He's going to drive low, shoot through his step. Sievers stayed with him, launches that up, perfectly placed into the stick of Fabio Mueller-Puente. Now Volquartz into the back door. Bushi gets another. A sock trick for Chris Bushi. He's got 6.
That is about as textbook as you're going to get on offense. The clear right there, perfect on the move, and then in transition, Chris Bushi just going to sit there near side, and Crispo has his back turned, just not able to react in time, and that's just too easy for Germany.
That's the benefit of having an offense that can spread out the floor like that. When you're going up against specifically a goaltender that's aggressive in their stance, they step out in their crease, is if you can draw the goaltender out of their crease a little bit to one side of the floor, generally speaking, if you can send someone to the back door, there's open net for a one-timer if you can get that pass across, and that's what Germany has been able to do a few times in this game, and that's what we just saw on that latest one. Now there's a penalty coming up to Team Germany. It's Benno Wendt going to take a seat for 2 or less on that low walk or the slow walk to the sin bin. Cross-checking is going to be the call. Italy has run a lot of their offense through their power play. They're 3 for 5 coming into this one. But it's been a couple of power play sets where they haven't been able to find the back of the net. And that one will go, another one-timer that's able to beat the netminder. And just about halfway through this quarter, Italy back on the board.
Before it went down on the previous play for the penalty, Italy did the exact same thing. They wanted the near side shooter bent. I mean, it was about as clear as a cross check to the face as you could have gotten. And then again, on the power play situation for Italy, setting up pretty much the exact same offensive schematic, and ultimately able to put another one in the back of the net.
Tony Langoni with the finish. That'll be his second of the afternoon. I don't know what day it is. I don't know what time it is here. Here's Lassi Volquartz in, a nice tuck, and he takes a hit up high. That'll be a penalty against Italy. Certainly looked unintentional, as the Italian defender Steven Pelliccioni is helping up the young German forward. Yeah, that is directly in the face mask up near the neck. That's a dangerous hit. And if I'm not mistaken, we may be going to a hydration break here. I don't know. Zulian is not happy with the officials. He thinks that maybe there have been some that Germany has gotten away with. So 2 minutes for cross-checking is going to be the call, and they may just be given the hydration break a little bit early. I don't think they're supposed to come when there's a penalty called, but regardless, yeah, I think the officials are trying to get everybody back onto the floor. I don't think this is supposed to be a hydration break. So maybe just a lengthy timeout now being used by the German power play, who will get some more opportunities here. They're just running repetitions now at this point. And remember, I mean, some people watching from home, they see these scores being run up, like they saw the 25-2 score yesterday. Right now, this one's 17-8. You may be questioning why teams are continuing to run up the score, but in a tournament like this, if there's a tiebreaker, goal differential might be a factor that things come down to. So the spread that you're able to create for yourself is only going to benefit you in the long run. Not to mention the ability to just get your team flying, as we just see another one from Per Anders Olters. That'll be his 4th of the game. And this German power play, look out for this thing, man. They are on an absolute heater to kick off the tournament.
Again, and what makes Germany so potent on offense, and what makes them just being able to get the ball around so dangerous, is the fact that they have so many different guys who are reliably able to score consistently. You don't have to just rely on one guy offensively, and it's created a crazy mismatch, especially in the power play situation.
So they are now 5 for 7 on the man advantage. Only twice they have been unsuccessful on the power play, and one of those was when they took a penalty halfway through their power play. So who knows what would have happened if that had been a full-length, settled 5-on-4. Now a deflected pass goes up and out of play. Borgatti crosses over the center line, and a quick change defensively for the Germans to immediately create that pressure. And that's something else you also probably have to like if you're a fan of the German team is, well, here's Dudemain. He runs out of room from Benno Wendt. You have to love that even though you're in this game late in the fourth quarter, your team is up 18-8. The pressure that we talked about off the top in terms of them swarming the ball carriers, the forechecking efforts, that hasn't slowed down whatsoever. They've stuck to their game plan all the way through. As Italy is going to get another possession here. And now this should be the hydration break, if I'm not mistaken, with that being the first whistle, not including coming a power play under 10 minutes. So everybody is going to separate and should be making their way. I mean, somebody in attendance just shouting out what's happening. A little bit of confusion on the floor right now. But yeah, hydration break. And I mean, like, take them while you can as well. I know there was the last one where there was a little bit of confusion and the teams kind of went to the benches when they shouldn't have necessarily. But I mean, if you're in a situation where you're unintentionally going to get 2 hydration breaks, you absolutely take them in this heat.
No doubt about it. And I mean, especially just with how the fact that it's not usually this hot here. They're not used to this weather. I mean, even in the U.S., I know you're from Canada, Tina, but even in the U.S., like, it's hot for me right now. And I come from a state in North Carolina where it gets very hot. It gets hot like this, but it's even hotter here than what we're used to in the States. So these guys have definitely got to be struggling.
Our colleague and good friend Garrett Goshorn has told me a couple of times in the early days that we've been here that apparently this is a historic heat wave. Sunday allegedly is going to be up to like 39 degrees, I think I saw. Then the temperature drops a little bit come next week, and there may be some rain, which I know for somebody like myself, that is going to be very welcomed, I would say. But we're back underway here. Under 9 minutes to play until the conclusion of this one. Shot from distance, stopped by the netminder. That'll deflect back to the wall. 18-8, Germany leads over Italy. And a good loose ball picked up in their own bin. Germany wants to turn and burn. They can't find anybody to streak to the bench to bring on Chris Bushi, so wisely they'll pull it out. Now Bushi to the back door. This is Bohm back across, and that pass is just bobbled by Justin Weismer. They're going to park Bohm behind the goal. Italy privy to that. They're sending someone right on Bohm. Now Bushi takes a cross check up high, and that's going to be a penalty. Chris Bushi checking himself out for damages. And now he'll have a conversation with the Italian defender, Steven Pelliccioni, who, I mean, you can just see the reaction as he's walking. You can just see him at the top right of your screen. I mean, just looks so disappointed in himself that he's going back to the penalty box.
And he could tell as soon as that play was over, he tapped Bucci over in the helmet. And I think he probably reached over and said, "Hey, my bad, man."
Yeah.
I've been in that situation before. I think anybody has been in that situation where you don't really mean to put as much force into it or go about it the way you did, but hey, it just comes out.
Yeah, heat of the moment, it happens. Bushi behind the goal, ready for that dunk, but the pass goes across through the middle to Bohm instead. Now here's Bushi. Cutter's starting to form. Full Kwartzen, hands ready to shoot. His pass towards Per-Anders Olters was intercepted. Borgatti has a man off the bench. It's Delzato scores! Another shorthanded goal for the Italians, and Delzato has finally completed his hat trick.
And that was an absolutely beautiful play by Andrew Borgatti. Had his stick up in the passing lanes, took that thing away, went down on the fast break, and then the pass it on the run, the shot going, faking down low, and then forcing the goalie a little bit inside, allowing the outside part of the net to be open, and then just going back while he's still going the other way with momentum carrying in the opposite way. Just that, it's an absolutely beautiful shot.
Fans of box lacrosse are very familiar with the legend Dane Doby, and that goal had shades of the patented Dane Doby dip and dunk, but this coming from Scott Delzato of Team Italy. Now Davide has to get this over center. Remember, Germany, they are still on the power play. But that's going to be short-lived. A delayed penalty coming up against them with Crispo making the march towards the bench. 7 minutes remaining in this game. Italy trailing by 9. Shot whistles wide, and that'll be a cross-checking call now coming up to Jonas Trusch. So another German power play that comes to an early close due to a penalty taken about halfway through. So now we're going to see 104 of 4-on-4 time. Del Zotto has been Italy's best forward. What kind of magic does he have up his sleeves on this set with the extra room? Dudemain has one in this game. He'll flip to Soroketti, diving, trying to find that ball through the crease. And look out here as Beckman heard some footsteps, able to receive that and avoid the contact. Now he dishes across the floor. Penalty coming up to Italy. What an effort that was by the streaking David Beckman. Now Bushi puts that off the post. And yet another penalty is going to make its way onto the scoreboard here. Take a look at this Bushi chance. Man, was that 3 fakes while he's airborne?
Call Mayor Bushi.
So we'll wait and see what the call is. But that man right there, Samuel Crispo, has been so busy all game long. It is 2 minutes for slashing, so now we'll see some 4-on-3 action. So they just wait to put the extra penalty up on the scoreboard. Oh, it's a 5-minute major. Wow. So Germany can score 2 on the major if given the opportunity here. Bushi goading the defender. They'll skip. Good movement. Back across the crease. Are you kidding me? And maybe some more as Davide sends his man Volkwartsen hard into the boards after the goal. Leon Bohm goes straight in to stand up for his fallen forward. But just before that was an unbelievable passing play. Take a look at this. Tic-tac-toe. What is that? 3-4 passes, all in the span of about 4 seconds. And now Davide is standing in front of the penalty box, pointing up at the screen above the scoreboard, trying to argue why this is a penalty for him. But I mean, the officials have been busy in this game, and I mean, it's a thankless job being a referee. You know, like you're in that role just to have people yell at you, essentially. But I think, all things considered, the referees, maybe aside from the 1 goal for Germany that Italy was probably rightfully so complaining about that could have been in the crease, aside from that, I mean, and at that point you're looking for something to criticize. I think the officials have done a really good job in this game.
Absolutely, no better way to put it. It really is one of those jobs where it's a lose-lose. It's a tough job as a referee, but you absolutely need to have them, and they've done a good job today here. And even with that 1 goal, it really would have made much of a difference.
Quite literally, the games, these tournaments, they cannot happen without the officials, and they were recognized in the opening ceremonies yesterday. Also, we got to talk about that. Those were maybe the coolest opening ceremonies I have ever experienced myself in any, like that to me, that felt like an Olympic level opening ceremony. There was the dancers on the floor, the violinist. It was also short and sweet. Like, there are some opening ceremonies that take upwards of an hour and a half because every athlete has to get brought out. For this, they just did the captain of every team getting announced out. The broadcast also looked incredible. I got a chance to watch that from the booth with Adam Serpin and Teddy Jenner being the hosts on the floor. And the crowd was just electric. You were here as well for the opening ceremony.
I was, yeah.
Just incredible. If you didn't get a chance to get down here to Radotín, hopefully you checked it out on the broadcast on our YouTube channel. For free, by the way, might I add. No reason for you to not be watching these. But if you are in the area, or hey, if you got a little extra cash and you feel like booking the trip down to Prague, get down here, because the experience so far, and we're only early in day 2, has just been unbelievable. It's a long discussion and a delay here after all of that. And I think So 2 minutes for cross-checking and 2 minutes for roughing. It's going to be the call to Danny Davide. So he'll be in the box for quite a while. And I mean, already there was the major penalty to the Italians that will stay on the board because they had 2 in the box already before that. So that penalty gets waived out. And I think that's probably the discussion going on, considering they have someone in the box, a goal is scored, maybe thinking that somebody should be released, or maybe thinking that one of the penalties after the play should be negated with the goal being scored. But I guess what they'll wind up with is the original penalized player will come out of the box, and both of the penalties on the floor will stand. Again, 2 minutes for cross-checking, 2 minutes for roughing to Danny Davide. Remember to stick around as well. We are not done. And when I say we, I mean specifically myself and Lucas Lee. We got the next game coming up on tap as well. That will be a 1:30 start time, local time, I should add. Make sure you do the math. If you're back home, if you're in my neck of the woods in BC, plus 9 hours. If you're in your neck of the woods in Eastern Canada, or Eastern U.S., I mean, plus 6 hours. So 1:30 the scheduled start time between Ireland and Finland. So it looks like everything's been sorted out here. Germany 1 goal away from a 20 spot. I know Teddy Jenner likes to call it a 20 burger when a team gets to that. So shout out to you, Teddy, if you're watching from your hotel room. Enjoy the air conditioning while you can. Well, after a lengthy delay, we'll get back after it. Just 6 minutes remain in this game. And Germany can just cruise to a win here on their first bit of action. And the Italians are going to have to find a way to rebound before their next game. So their face-off man goes down hard, but shooting just as William Vitelli got back up to his feet. So Germany still working 4-on-3. No look pass across the crease. That didn't make its way cleanly on goal.
Hard pass, bounce off the stick. A tough one to bring in that close.
Bushi, he's got 6 in this game already. What can't he do at this point? Volkwartsen, who drew the cross-check and the roughing call. Couple of nice backhand passes, and then a bouncer that's stopped by Crispo. Reset behind the goal. Dunk, scores! Give him 7. Bushi's got a touchdown.
A touchdown. I like that. And Chris Bushi, again, just manipulating different sides of the field, different parts of the field again. And once again, you have a 5-on-3 advantage, so obviously you're going to have a better chance to score. But again, a good job from Italy, honestly, from taking away the different parts of the field. And the only reason Bushi was even able to score was because, 1, they completely forgot about him, and 2, they obviously are down 2 defenders, so it's kind of hard to get back there. But again, just Germany just utilizing all different parts of the field. I feel like I've said it a million times, but that's really what it's come down to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's another one where Crispo almost got over to take away the dunk. He got a lot closer than he had on the previous Bushi dunk, but still, Chris Bushi is able to make it count. So there's already another game that's completely finished as Norway took down Wales 17-6 in the early game this morning, and just underway as we speak, Switzerland versus France. That one is still scoreless as Crispo's got that somewhere in his pads. And they're going to bring us to our final media timeout of the game. So we'll take a quick breather, come back with the final 5 minutes of this game when we return. 19-9, Germany leads over Italy at the European Box Lacrosse Championships.
Pivo z rodinného pivovaru, kde řemeslo a tradice jdou ruku v ruce.
Final 5 minutes between Germany and Italy. Coming up next, there's one of the Italian fans in attendance. They got a flag behind their bench as well, and the Italian team has been making sure to hang out on the bleachers whenever they've gotten an opportunity to in the hydration breaks as well. Just a little bit of overhang, taking away some of the sunshine, any kind of relief from the heat. There's the Italian flag, my motherland. Italy does get back underway tomorrow. They're going to take on Czechia in the late game. That's going to be another tough battle for them. Germany also plays tomorrow, right back here. They'll take on Team Israel. That is going to be a game to watch. Israel looked very good against the hosts last night, and Dudemain's goal will be disallowed. Italy doesn't like it. Hard pass up, Bushi off the bench if they can feed him. Italy taking away the passing lane, but it does complete to Bushi. No goal to show for it yet. Volkwartsen streaking back door. Pairs Anders. Olters picks it up from the sideboards. Anders Olters. Bushi backing down. Nice pass in tight, thrown wide. Oh, the rebound is available there, and Crispo was out of position. And there looks to be another Italian penalty on the play. Arguing the call is Steven Pelliccioni. But he took down pair Anders Olters, and I mean, once again, you can see him just walking head down. Just frustrated with how things have gone so far this morning. Not the way you'd like to start off your European box lacrosse championship journey.
No doubt about it, and you can feel these emotions. They definitely been riding high throughout this one. I'm sure the heat probably hasn't helped a little bit with the mental, but there's been a number of penalties here for Italy that I'm sure looking back on it when they go back, they'll be like, you know what, we can avoid those next time.
And you know what, I would argue as well, like the disappointing part for the Italians right now is you look back to how this quarter started off. Germany with a cold goaltender coming in. Italy scores on their first 3 shots of the game. They get the score within 7 as Bushi picks up his 8th. Are you kidding me, Chris Bushi? But just with how good Italy started this quarter, and then to just start making the parade to the penalty box, it has just completely changed how things felt like they were starting to move in a direction of. But also credit to Germany for being able to withstand a little bit of a rush from the Italians and hang in there and assert their dominance again.
No doubt about it. It's just really been that veteran presence and what really brought them back, you know, to second place back in 2022. And you're really seeing that and why they're a favorite going into this tournament.
Well, here they come again. See if Chris Bushi gets a shift off or not. Bohm says, I don't care. He'll rip one to the 5-hole. The run continues for the Germans.
Again, that was the pick that set that up for Bohm as he comes crashing down and takes a low shot down to the 5-hole, like you said. And yeah, that doesn't happen with that pick right there. And
Now we're in a running clock.
I think Germany might try to slow it down, eat some clock up, but they're saying, hey, no, I want to add some more points.
Well, we are, I believe, at runtime now, with the lead up at 22-9 for Germany. So, I mean, this is going to be a quick 3.5 minutes, and we'll see what kind of damage Germany can do. So Olters gets it back. He drew the latest Italian penalty, but there is still one up on the board. Remember, one of those previously was a major. Lassie Volkwartsen. Boom. Now to the near side, fake shot and spin back across. Volkwartsen left it behind, and now he's in a foot race. Borgatti couldn't catch up to it. Volkwartsen just shovels that deep into the Italian zone.
Heads up play to try to get that back in time despite it running out of clock. It was impressive. Impressive as he was going the other way to try to, almost like a reverse golf swing, you know what I mean?
I love the idea of people at home watching just having to visualize what you meant with that sound. You know? Here's Soroketi. Shot deflected off of a German stick, goes wide of the goal. Hard cross check, Italy battling for this loose ball, 2.5 minutes to play. They get the reset. Germany arguing that there should not have been one, but Italy still with possession. Trailer coming in, Soroketi's backhander goes up and out of play, and that winds up as a wasted possession for the Italians. So we've talked about Chris Bushi's 8 goals. He's also got 5 assists in this game. So a 13-point performance from him in the opening game of the tournament. Lassie Volkwartsen's got 5 points, 2 and 3. Justin Weismer's got 7 points, 2 and 5. I mean, everybody eats has got to be the mantra right now for the Germans, you would think. And Lassie Volkwartsen just gets another one. That'll be his hat trick marker. And I mean, the Italians, they can't get out of here soon enough at this point.
No, they can. That's why running clock's a thing.
Yeah.
This game would take forever if it kept slowing down every single time the Germans put one in the back of the net. It's just been a tough one for Italy through and through. And I mean, what are you going to do when you have this many shooters for Germany who are capable of scoring from pretty much anywhere on the field?
At this point, it's just got to be get out of this game as healthy as you can. You've battled through a long one here this morning in the heat. Everyone's going to be exhausted. You got to rehydrate because you're back at it again tomorrow in a couple of games that are once again back here outdoors. So the heat isn't going to slow down. And hopefully everybody is able to get out of here relatively unscathed. Man, oh man, what a goal from Per Anders Olters. And he's not happy with the contact he took after the goal from Steven Pelliccioni. But the referees will separate those two. And yeah, I think he's probably just saying, hey man, look at the score, look at the time that's left. No need.
You gotta, I get it. But as somebody who played defense on a lot of bad teams, it's tough when you're going against a team that runs the score up. And I get why they're running the score up. There's a reason for it, but that's never fun to go against. And I'm sure there's been a lot of talking back and forth. So I get it from both sides. I get it, like, hey, the contact's unnecessary, but you also understand it from Feliciano's side. Like, hey, these guys are basically spitting in our faces.
That's just an incredible way for you to play Switzerland here and just like ride the fence, just be completely neutral. That's a veteran move from you as a broadcaster. But yeah, I mean, you are right. I mean, everybody, I think, at some point in their lives has been on a team where you're losing and you're losing by a lot. And at some point, I mean, you're kind of playing for pride. But you know what? It is what it is. So Luke Lee will leave you to go down, and you're going to snag up, I believe, Chris Bushi for an interview. So stay tuned on the broadcast after we close things out here in the booth. The final score winds up 23-9, the final in favor of Germany. They're going to face off tomorrow, taking on the host Czechia in what should be just an incredible game between those two nations. And Czechia looking for a rebound after their tough loss last night in their opening game of the tournament against Team Israel. Italy also gets back after it tomorrow. Excuse me, it's Italy versus Czechia, so they're the ones playing the host. Germany versus Israel. So that game between Germany and Israel will be right here in Radotín at 1:30 local time, and then the late game between Czechia and Italy will also be here at 7:30 local time. So mark your calendars and keep your eyes tuned in for more European box lacrosse action coming to you live from LCC Radotín. For Luke Lee, for Tino Farah, for the entire crew here putting on the broadcast in Prague, we thank you very much for joining us. We hope we'll see you on the next one. And take it easy, everybody.
Bushi, yeah. This side. Did you tighten them up? Somebody go like this and hold it. Yeah, please, please. Hold it up. Just from the side.
Here with Germany's Chris Bushi after an exciting game. 13 total points for you. Had 8 goals, 5 assists, an absolutely massive day for you. And going against a defense that was really, really tough, they were physical. What were some of the things that you were seeing on offense that allowed you to kind of slow it down and have the day that you had?
Yeah, it's going to be really hot this week, so I think the game plan was to find our spots inside, but not be too chaotic. Save some energy when we can, and it worked out tonight.
Great. Also, to start the fourth quarter out, you guys had I believe it was a 14-4 lead. Then they went right down off a cold goalie, had 3 straight in a row, and then you were able to pretty much from the second that you guys got the ball back, you went one, ripped it right in there, and you guys pretty much put it away. So, what was the mentality that allowed you guys to pretty much just deal with that adversity and then just take it from there?
Game one, it's good to get some adversity. It shows a lot of character of our team to bounce back from their 3-goal run, 4-goal run, whatever it was. So yeah, just making sure that we stay calm when there's a run going the other way.
And then when it came down to just the physicality that you guys had early on, you guys were really just going crazy. Like, what was the mentality that you guys had, like, from the jump that allowed you guys to come out as hot as you did?
Be a hard team to play against. At the end of the day, you want to be competitive, play the right way, but be a tough and hard team, especially on the defensive end. If we have guys second-guessing, cutting through the middle, that means they're doing their job. So credit to them today.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks.
Great game.
Thanks.
Sorry for the complications.
Thank you very much. I'll see you all after the second game. Same again, boys.